It's good to see everybody today. This is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com, and we're just doing a little jam session to get started, to get kind of in the groove. I've got Abraham Laboriel bass down here in my left hand. This is from Trillion. And I've got Keyscape Rhodes. And this is the Abraham Laboriel Jr drums, the originals. And I'm using one of the In the Pocket grooves. And it is just really fabulous. We're going to have a lot of fun today, taking a look at several things. And I'm so glad to see everybody today. Welcome. And I just kind of got this on a loop. So let's see what we've got. So I've got the originals here. And we've got the loops going. And then, of course, we can't have a live stream unless we've got Unify in the house. And that's how I'm doing the splits. So I've got Trillion here in my left hand. I've got it split there, and there's Abraham. And this was from their original Trilogy Bass Legends library. And now I've got Keyscape, the Rhodes here. And that's what makes Unify so powerful, because I can just make these kinds of splits. And it's just grooving. I mean, and I just kind of was messing around, and you come up with these little riffs. And you could just go all day. You've got a good groove, you can just go about anywhere. So let's get started with the originals, Abraham Laboriel Jr drums. And I was so excited to see this particular library come out. Let's just take a look at how this is set up. So I was working with the loops. This classic backbeat. So they give you the drum kit here, and then they give you a whole library, a whole selection of different loops. But let's just pull up the drum kit. And Spitfire has a way of doing their drums and percussion. They use sort of like a split type of keyboard where you can do left and right hand type of things. So let's take a look. Let me just get the volume up here a little bit. Yes, you've got two different kinds of kicks, sticks, flams, cymbals here, hi-hats up here. Now see, when you split it, it just gives you the freedom to play like that. Now, finger drumming on a weighted keyboard is a little difficult because of, like, especially doing fast repeats, because the keys don't bounce up as fast. So, man, you get a lot more dynamic, or a lot more playability, really, with like a semi-weighted keyboard, like this XP50, or even like an Arturia, that little Arturia thing that I've got back here. And then you've got different settings for the reverb. Yeah, it just gives you so much flexibility. And of course, you've got room mics. And once you start playing these things, and I'm also used to a General MIDI keyboard setup, which kind of, because you're thinking about General MIDI layouts on drums, and then you have to readapt. And I'm working on unifying this as well, and maybe trying to remap some of these to work with the unified drum maps, so you can use the unified drum grooves with this. So let's see. Okay, that's the close mic. Let's just pull up the room and just take a quick look at these. Yeah, you've got a lot more space here. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And now the hype mic is really up front and in your face. See, let's find it. Now those hi-hats are really up there. And then you've got control over the kick volume, snare volume, so you can kind of make your own mix here. And then you've got different snare types. So when you hear that snare change a little bit. Depending on where that selector is. And what I love too is that they've given you all of these cool grooves. So let's pull up a couple of these. So this is slow and steady at 60 BPM. So I'm going to set my DAW tempo at 60. And let's take a listen. And so you start at the lower end of the keyboard, and so that's basic beats. And as you progress up the keyboard, they get a little bit more complicated. Yeah, it just gets a little busier. And then let's see. Yeah. See how it changes a little bit? And the blue keys are the same beats but with the crash. So you can hit that. And the greens are with cymbals, just different patterns, riding cymbals. And the same thing here. The orange keys just correspond with the kick and cymbal hits. And these are snares, so you've got sticks down here, snares up here. And the black keys, the blue highlighted keys are fills, drum fills. So you got 2, 3, 4, just little fills. And of course, it gets more complicated as it goes up. So you can build the patterns here. And what I did for this beginning thing that we did, so I just laid a MIDI track down that allowed you to see that triggered the different loops. That trigger the different patterns. So that's how that goes. Then so you can just lay out your MIDI track, your drum track, and you can adjust that from here. Let's look at Swing It. Swing It. Let's check that out. That's 94 BPM. Yeah. And I like the logical progression of complexity as you go up the keyboard. And see, you can see here too that we've got the fills on the black keys. And just make sure you're hitting that key on the downbeat, or if you've got it in the piano roll, just make sure it's up there on the beat. Now let's just listen to the hype mic. Just hear what that sounds like. Yeah, very, very crunchy and in your face. And then you can blend in the different mics here. Yeah. And then, of course, reverb. You can make it big and roomy. And then you can squash it with the compressor here. Yeah, so there's a lot of things you can do with this kit. And you've got some EQ curves that you can dial in. But you've got just such a gifted session drummer just right here. And it's interesting how they adapted the Spitfire player for drums. And I'm sure that we're going to be seeing a lot more of this. All we need now is a new Abraham Laboriel Sr bass kit. So let's just check rock and roll. Yeah, there we go. Just so clean. There we go. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of the originals Abraham Laboriel Jr drums, and at $29, it is a fantastic, fantastic way to add some very in-your-face grooves and drum sounds. Very cool.